So really, look, the definition of gentrification is where the demographics of an urban area are changed or changing from a lower socioeconomic demographic to a more affluent demographic. This generally brings top quality housing, employment, and business to the location. Gentrification also has the effect of displacing current inhabitants to other less advantageous locations. So, look, that's really what gentrification is. It's mainly around demographics of an area. It's not necessarily fascia, because fascia has to do with rejuvenation. So, rejuvenation is where the character of the neighborhood changes from a derelict old estate to a more original or new estate. This is generally characterized by the fascia of the suburb. So that's your key real, should I say, distinguishment or key difference between gentrification and rejuvenation. They're not the same thing. So with that, a lot of people do get quite a few things wrong. So a lot of people think they're the same thing. They're not. So for something somewhere to gentrify, you need these things to happen. So first things first, it needs to be close by to a strong demographic area. A suburb can't gentrify without it having an area close by or suburb close by that has a significantly stronger income demographic. So generally speaking, gentrification will usually happen with the spillover effect. So you might have somewhere, for example, a good example in Sydney would be somewhere like Marrickville. That's completely gentrified now. I mean, late 90s, early 2000s, not many people wanted to live there, but now it's quite popular. And what happened was your wealthier people kind of from Stanmore and more Newtown started to move into Marrickville. They started to sell off some of the public housing. Suburb completely changed up. So that's a good example. Another thing is must have short present and future supply long term. So what that means is supply can't continue to increase because affluent people will not move into the area. It will be mostly first home buyers if supply increases too much. Now, I'd put an exclamation point if it's an infill area, which are very rare. There was one in Haberfield sold earlier this year, which is the first I've seen in inner Sydney for probably 5 years or so. So it can happen in that circumstance, but it's very rare. Must be near affluent employment hubs or within reasonable commutable distance to. So a lot of people will say, this area is going to gentrify because this and the other. They'll say, it's going to gentrify because it's on a train line. It can gentrify if it's on a major train line, and it has the right kind of, should I say, dynamics to it. It can in that circumstance. But it has to be near affluent employment hubs. And what that is it's not just like your general warehouses or anything like that. I mean, I'd say wealthier jobs, so particularly white-collar jobs, state government administration jobs, those sorts of things. Trades are fine as long as the trades are well established. That's probably the main thing. So that's another thing people get wrong. And also, it must be within a well-diversified, wealthy, larger city. So you get people saying there's a suburb of Bendigo, Ballarat that will gentrify. There's people that will say this one in Albury, Wodonga will gentrify, and I have to tell them no, that will not work because the city's not diversified enough and it's not wealthy enough, number two. So, I mean, you really have to have a very good long-term economy for that to be the case, because if you don't, it's very hard to actually even justify how it can gentrify. So those are rules that people generally get wrong. And the main difference between gentrification and rejuvenation is gentrification is the changing demographics of the suburb. Rejuvenation is the changing fascia of the suburb. They're not the same thing. Generally, a suburb will go through rejuvenation first before it goes through gentrification. So don't get the two mixed up.